Today I will be discussing modern witchcraft and its relationship with popular culture for the purpose of highlighting the significance of witchcraft as a postmodern religion, as well as its place in the study of religion and anthropology. Witchcraft is a branch or religious cousin of paganism, the old craft founded on understanding nature and spirit, and would be classified as a primal religion. In the 4th century, Constantine declared Christianity to be the official religion of the Roman Empire, resulting in the raid and pillage of pagan communities and practitioners. From that point on, Wicca or pagan practices were associated with the devil and muted by the church for centuries. In this state, indigenous people that practiced religious alternatives to Christianity were declared devil worshippers, and women were stripped of their rights and forced into perpetual forms of oppression and subordination in a growing patriarchal world. However, in the mid-20th century, modern witchcraft or Wicca began to show itself in communities all over Western Europe. The recognized father of modern witchcraft was Gerald Gardner, an individual who studied anthropology and was interested in the occulent. Gardner, alongside other religious pupils and anthropologists, began studying the craft as a subculture in the greater conversation of the study of religion in the 1940s. Since its rebirth in the mid-20th century, Wicca has been documented and manipulated by media and culture such as movies, myths, books, and other forms of representation. I asked to what degree does the commodification and created representation of witchcraft in popular culture and mass media affect the social structures and epistemology of modern witchcraft in the West? To answer this question, this presentation will delve into the metaphysics of modern witchcraft and its followers in the West. Wicca is a goddess-based religion that emphasizes the ethereal spirit or soul. The earth is placed as the mother, and every being on it is associated with a spirit in some way. Women are seen highly in Wiccan practices as they are the facilitators of life and are then closely associated with the Mother Earth. It is for this reason that the revivance of Wicca grew alongside the feminist movement, and many of the practitioners are women. Wicca is an individualistic practice whereby symbolic meaning and overall practice is ambiguous and open to interpretation by the individual's experiences. With that being said, there are 4 shared characteristics in Wicca that are important to understand: the practice of white magic, its nature orientation, the small groups known as covens, and the existence of a circle of protection. The spell that witches cast can consist of either white magic, which are positive spells, or black magic, which are negative spells. Witches believe that whatever spells you cast, they will be returned to you threefold. An informant in E.M. Rico's ethnography on Wicca claimed that they, a witch, had never met another witch who had performed black magic because of the threefold rule. Wicca is a nature-oriented religion that celebrates the seasons and the one spirit essence of the ether. With that being said, there are also specific gods or goddesses or portions of energy that are chosen by an individual or group and are embodied by a common image. When witches communicate with their goddesses, they channel their energy. However, this practice is not necessary for rituals or spells. Emil Durkheim would argue that witchcraft is not a religion as there is no necessary reason for aggregation. However, there are groups that a witch may join called a coven, which consists of 13 members and a high priestess. The last shared characteristic of Wicca is the circle of protection, which is an imaginary circle that is drawn around the witch before a spell to keep all unwanted spirits out of their place. There is a stigma that if a person breaks the circle, they will die immediately or burn. Since the mid-20th century, there has been a proliferation of witch-related representations and popular myths in media and culture. Hence, today many Westerners associate a witch with a flying broom, boil and spotted nose, and evil magic. These images have also transpired into the propagation of the material consumption and commodified witchcraft. The perception of Wicca by popular culture is propagated by media misconceptions and representations such as the Blair Witch Project that labels witchcraft as an evil practice. While the religion has grown in recognition and media coverage in the past few decades, many witches still hide their affiliations with the craft out of fear of discrimination or harassment. As individuals have a greater access to resources on witchcraft, the religion faces 2 societal implications: the expectation of media representations to be played out by witches through services such as palm or tarot readings, and the impact of the individualist consumerist religion on postmodernism and feminist discourse. In their ethnography on modern Wicca practices in the West, E.M. Rico invites an informant to discuss their experiences with the capitalization of Wicca practices and beliefs for economic gain. Their informant explained that they had at one point in time sold tarot readings and other parapsychological acts, but claimed that using their religion and abilities for money was untrue to Wicca and the purpose of spirituality. The American Booksellers Association claimed in 2005 that annual sales of literature relating to paganism and witchcraft had more than doubled since 1990. 21st century witchcraft has been propagated by New Age paraphernalia and aesthetics, and is becoming defined in terms of its manifestation in purchasable products and its representations in popular culture and mass media. This dynamic between religion and the materialization has created a social structure based on individualist, consumerist ideology that allows for marginalized sectors of society to liberate themselves from the implicit conformity of religion and religious histories in the West. Some individuals not only accept but promote this consumer-based witchcraft, claiming that the eclecticism invites personal interpretation. In other words, the religion is more inclined to suit the needs of the individual practitioner or consumer rather than propagate conformity to an established way of being. This element is crucial for the success of Wicca, as the religion itself was muted by society and polarizes ideologies such as Christianity as it works to dismantle greed and the patriarchy. Individuals can choose what elements of witchcraft appeals to them best. This shift away from universalism to postmodernism, signified by the emphasis of the individual, implies a denial of the existence of any transcendent or empirical teleological structure upon which to base a sense of self, and rather relies on the interpretation of the individual for its purpose and value. Wicca is a reflection of the needs of its contemporary society. According to the Jung framework of values of rituals, symbols, and history of witchcraft, is defined by the experience of the practitioners and the meaning they ascribe to adopted signs. Hence, whatever element of commercialization or consumerism a witch buys into validates their experience. In other words, witchcraft has been popularized in mass media and culture over recent decades, which affected the representation of witches. This has created an environment whereby witches navigate their purchasable capital of witchcraft to create their own personalized experience with the religion. To answer my question, to what degree popular culture affects the epistemology of witchcraft, I would claim that the coverage has allowed for witchcraft to spread to communities that may not have had access to it otherwise, and has propagated a postmodern religion that aims to please the individual rather than mandate a particular way of existence, thus reviving this ancient practice.